Nathan Ng is a Dhar Mann actor who's been protesting as well. Now, I covered his first video protesting Dhar Mann already, but he's since went on to make 2 more videos where he shares some really surprising behind the scene information about his experience at Dhar Mann Studios. Before I do get into his second and third videos though, I quickly want to recap his first video in case you guys missed it.
This whole Dhar Mann thing may seem a little bit wonky and may come out of nowhere, but I've seen it coming from a mile away. If y'all haven't noticed, I haven't been part of his projects for quite some time, and the reason for that may shock you.
Nathan Ng was probably one of the first actors to really explain how the scheduling at Dhar Mann Studios worked once you get casted, and he showed that even though the actors are paid between $33 an hour to $44 an hour, that doesn't actually translate to an amount of money that's worth it for the actors.
$33 an hour, let's say 2 hours a day, I make $132. But I had to book out 5 different days for them. Now, when other opportunities, when other projects come up, I have to turn them down because I have no idea what those days are going to be for filming, for my part. So in those 5 days, I made $132.
At the end of that video, he does say that this actually says a lot more about the industry than it does about Dhar Mann himself, but it's definitely something that Dhar Mann exploits for sure.
Kind of also says more about the industry than it does about Dhar Mann, but he definitely exploits it. And that's why a lot of actors are angry.
In Nathan Ng's second video titled "Why Keep Working with Dhar Mann Then? Why I Left Part 2, he answers a huge question that some of the actors like Catherine Norland, who are defending Dhar Mann, have posed, and that question is, well, if working with Dhar Mann is so bad in the first place, why keep on showing up to work for him then? In the video, Nathan goes on to say that he kept working with Dhar Mann mainly because it was a very toxic relationship. And he also says that there's a whole lot of victim shaming going on by Dhar Mann. And when you're in a situation like this, it's definitely really hard sometimes to see a different perspective until you step out of it. So he didn't even realize how toxic this working relationship was when he was working with Dhar Mann.
Why I kept working with him. And the short answer is, because it was a toxic relationship. Now, if y'all have ever been in a toxic relationship, you'll understand that it's way harder to leave than you would think, even though in your head you know it's bad for you.
Another big reason for him staying was the cast and the crew, as well as there was an expectation laid out by Dhar Mann that you'll become a regular series actor and you'll grow with the company. So what actor wouldn't want to act, be a part of something bigger, and grow with a company?
Dhar Mann sets this expectation that once you're a series regular, you'll be invited back and back and back again in order to do more films for him. But as soon as you don't work with his schedule, as soon as something in your life comes up, or as soon as you just have any concerns, you're gone.
Of course, in the film industry, there are tight deadlines, and it's not always possible to work out scheduling in a way that you would like. But when you don't feel like you can say anything about that, then that can be a pretty intense and scary situation to be in. As well as the constant fear of being replaced, that's definitely a legitimate concern too. For Nathan's third video titled "Why Don't I See You in Dhar Mann Anymore? Why I Left Part 3, he goes into a whole lot more details of what specifically led him to no longer work with Dhar Mann. It was definitely a mixture of things, but the event that he describes in the video was the straw that broke the camel's back, as that expression goes.
This was by far the worst experience I've had on any set, and it was a Dhar Mann set. In fact, this incident was so terrible that it actually caused my working relationship with Dhar Mann Studios to end. I was replaced, and then I was unfortunately ghosted. Director, I love this guy, and I just want to say that his style just didn't really fit Dhar Mann Studios. He's very meticulous. Every time something messed up the take, we would take it back from the beginning, which is not very normal in film. You just kind of go back from where you messed up and just kept going. Number 2. Dhar Mann Studios is located right next to a freaking airport. So every 2 to 3 minutes, the planes would fly over and ruin the take, and we have to take it back from the beginning. Number 3, accident. But the biggest accident that happened on the set was the waiter. There's a scene where he delivers green juice and he accidentally spills it on me. We have to wait for my clothes to dry. We come back 1 to 2 hours later and he spills it again.
And then when he went through this whole difficult situation on set, he was ghosted and then blamed for everything.
A very trustworthy source at Dhar Mann Studios told me that they pinned all these delays on me just to save their own asses. To Dhar Mann's credit, none of this was directly his fault. But how he handled the situation afterwards was. And pinning everything on me, ghosting me, and then replacing me is not the answer.
I think we all know that not every day at any job will go 100% perfect, and it sounds like Nathan Ng and other Dhar Mann actors who are protesting definitely understand that, and they are willing to work through sometimes difficult days on set. Where I think everything really collapses though is when the actors don't feel at all like they're being heard, or that they even matter when it comes to solving workplace issues or resolving any of their concerns. Nathan actually said it perfectly in his second video.
There are so many actors out there that are sharing their experiences, but instead of addressing our concerns, he's telling us that we're wrong for having them. He's attempting to gaslight us and the audience into thinking that, well, the concerns that these actors are having are crazy, and they're crazy for having them. AKA victim shaming.
And honestly guys, at this point, it doesn't seem like Dhar Mann will be addressing the concerns of the actors in a way that will make them feel heard. Although he has responded, it was more so reasons and justifications rather than dealing with their concerns. So my thought is that with millions of fans and viewers still supporting him, Dhar Mann will keep on going business as usual and wait for these protests to just die down. But I'll definitely keep you guys updated with any new developments on this whole Dhar Mann protest situation. Follow me here on FTD News to keep up with more future videos. Boom.